Right, what's up and welcome to the channel. My name is Headshot. Thanks so much for joining me today as we have the new 2022 Chevy Silverado ZR2. We're gonna go through the ins and outs of this truck. I'm gonna tell you what I like, what I don't like, go through all the features. Let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, big thanks to Rick Hendrick Chevrolet in Charleston, South Carolina for giving me the opportunity to look at this truck. And a couple things I gotta mention. It's already sold, so I can't drive it, can't take it off-road, obviously. Also, it's super dirty because I finally found a moment in the weather where it's not completely storming on us. So again, this truck is stunning in real life, but it is kind of dirty. Just take note of that. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's start up front with the bread and butter of this truck. What powers this truck, which is the 6.2 liter V8 from GM. So this has 420 horsepower and 460 foot-pounds of torque, and it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. What I'm looking for is things to differentiate this from the High Country, your LTZ, and all your other Silverado models, and looking for this to directly compete with the Raptor TRX and other trucks like that, it needs to differentiate itself. So this is kind of one of those areas that I'm really focused on in the motor. They didn't go with the supercharged 6.2, they didn't go with a different motor, they went with the naturally aspirated 6.2, but I do like the dual hood scoop here. It's not functional, but at the same time, it's a very nice looking hood. They got the 6.2 badges on either side of the scoop there. Really nice looking front end. And of course we have LEDs coming all the way across the front here. You have LED fog lights down below, and you have red tow hooks up front because anything painted red means it's going to be more off-road. Toyota is notorious for doing that. I'm not opposed to it. Blacked out grille here, nice bow tie with the red insert, and this bow tie is actually cut out here, so you could probably put one of the lit ones there or something like that, but it's actually cut out here in the front. And then one nice thing is you actually have off-road steel bumpers on this truck, okay? So they meant it for off-road, and I love that because anytime a truck is meant for this type of purpose, it has to have steel bumpers. And yes, it does have skid plates that go pretty far back here. From this standpoint, from the front end, it actually does a really nice job. It's actually cut out kind of right here. So they are saying you have a 31-degree approach angle in the front here, which is actually not bad for a stock truck. And I want to say this one actually comes with a 3-inch lift from the factory. Another area I want to focus on this truck is the suspension and the tires, of course. So it's rocking 33-inch Goodyear Wrangler tires, which is a decent tire on its own. That's what the Trail Boss has and other vehicles. But again, this is trying to compete with the Raptor and the TRX, which come with at least 35s, if not 37s, like you can on the Raptor package specifically. So it's a little bit behind the curve in that respect too, coming with 33-inch tires. They're nice tires, they got good tread on them. I'm just not sure about this tire setup trying to compete with what they're competing with. It seems like they kind of went halfway in that regard. Now, one area that I think will probably be pretty impressive is in the suspension. Now, unfortunately, we can't get a really good look in there, but it's a Multimatic DSSV dampeners on this truck. So these are supposed to be pretty high-end shocks. Like I said, unfortunately, we won't be testing this one, but at the same time, this is supposed to be a pretty good suspension setup front and rear on the ZR2. So they definitely went above and beyond, I think, in the suspension part. Coming inside the cab on this truck, you are going to be greeted with not only a 13-inch display to your right, your control center, your command center, like the commercial says, but you also have a 12.4-inch display right here in front of you. And there are a plethora of options here, including your HUD setup. You have, of course, all your mode selector on the left-hand side. So you have auto, 4 high, 4 low, and 2 high. And then, of course, that's going to give you little changes here and there as far as on the screen. It'll show terrain mode or normal mode or whatever the case may be. You have an electronic park brake right there. You do have paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel, and this is a leather wrap steering wheel. Really nice looking, very premium feeling at the same time. The whole truck has this kind of gray interior with the yellow stitching on it. And personally, I love it. Any kind of loud color that can kind of offset all of the gray in here is nice. And then it's not necessarily carbon fiber, but they have this carbon fiber looking plastic trim here and there to kind of break everything up on the interior. You also have like a gloss black sections around your dash and around your instrument cluster. And then of course you do have that carbon panel that kind of runs down the middle to separate your screen and your dual climate control down below. Of course, keyless ignition. You have memory for your seats, so as soon as we start it up here, all right, none of this is set up for me, so it's not gonna move or anything like that. Your shifter is right here. And so the shifter is a little bit different in how you have a button here that you press, and you're gonna go one full click all the way up to go reverse. If you kind of just go a half click, that's gonna take you to neutral. And then back, of course, will take you to drive. If you wanna park, you just press that button in and now you're back into park. So you don't really move the shifter around a whole lot. It just kind of stays stationary while you move it back and forth between its couple of positions. Console itself is again, it's got that yellow stitching with the gray look, kind of this perforated material in the middle, and another pad up top where you could put, possibly another cell phone or something like that. Got a push button up there, and you do have a actual 110 outlet charger here, a couple of USB Type-C, which is really important now. And then when we open this up, you have a huge storage compartment right here. And then of course a center tray right there. Cup holders here, cup holders here. You have some cup holders and stuff in the door. You have a nice wide cutout in that door, so you could, pretty much put anything over there that you essentially wanted. All right, you have the one glove box right there. And then you actually, behind the screen, you have kind of a little cubby here that if you wanted to put something, you could do that as well. The options for all of the buttons down below, we're gonna go through these really quick, and there is quite a few of them. So you have your lane departure button here, you have your park assist on the second one, and then you have auto stop start, you can turn that off. You can actually do your tailgate, drop that down from in here, hazards. You have your traction control switch, your hill descent. All right, so this actually does have a hill descent mode. And there's also a 2-speed transfer case that I think I forgot to mention, but you have that as well. And then you have front and rear locking differentials, which is super nice. If you're going off-road to have that option, that's pretty awesome. USB charger and a USB Type-C built into the dash. And of course, you have dual climate control, you have trailer backup, all of that good stuff. So this screen right here, unfortunately, I'm in demo mode, so I can't even do everything with this that you could possibly do in demo mode, but this screen is impressive. And what I love is that when you're sitting in the cockpit just like this, you are looking at a huge screen here. You have your heads-up display here whenever you put it into drive, and the screens on this thing, it's just super, super clear, very crisp looking. I absolutely love the design they did with the screen. And I understand why they say control center, because it really does feel like a cockpit in here with your different switches here. I don't see any auxiliary switches. By the way, this one does have the moonroof. I don't see auxiliary switches, so I'm not sure if it's already pre-wired for additional lighting or not. Maybe one of y'all know. I'm not too sure there, but you do have like your garage door opener, and of course you can open your moonroof and all of that kind of stuff. One nice feature too is that you actually have a backup camera in the actual rear view mirror. So as it's just sitting right now, I'm in park, I can see exactly what's behind me with that camera. And then whenever I go to reverse this thing, I will actually get, of course, the big backup camera here and the additional camera right there, just so you can see exactly what's going on around you. That's a pretty nice feature. I love that. So this is a look of all your different cameras that you actually have. This thing has 8 of them, right? So if you're on a trail or something and you're trying to figure out, how am I looking on my approach or my departure angle, or what am I about to go up against? You have a lot of options here. This is one of the best features that I've seen in the ZR2 so far, is all of the different camera options. Now this isn't exclusive to the ZR2, of course, but at the same time, and what it's showing there for the black screen is my door was open. So now that goes away, as you can see right there. You even see your trailer right there. This is actually pretty awesome. You can zoom in right there a little bit. The cameras are phenomenal. Your passengers are not going to be left out in this truck either. We're not going to take too much time here, but you have a nice big cab here for your passengers. You of course have your middle seat that can pull down for extra cup holders there. You have a large storage container that you can put, which the customer that bought this truck is going to put under this seat. And then you have heated seats in the rear on this specific truck. So that's kind of cool. Your passengers are going to be super comfortable in the back on this truck. So here is one of my favorite features that Chevy does with their Silverado. So of course, you have a tailgate. It's power assist. You can do it from your remote, all of that good stuff, right? But you know, hey, if you need an extra step, what you can do, hit that button. You have another button right above that. Hit that top button again, and that's gonna come down to where you can just simply step up in the truck, boom, just like that. If you need a little area you need to work on, you can do that. You can actually put speakers in this, which is this customer's doing as well, which is kind of a cool little thing. So the multi-flex tailgate, it is absolutely one of my favorite features on the Silverado. Coming around to this side, you of course have a little pull handle right here, right? So it goes up so you can pull yourself safely inside the bed. That's also a nice little feature. Of course, you have LED box lights back here, and you also have a 120 volt or a max 400 watt plug right there where you can get some serious work done. Chevy does their beds the right way. They make it for people that are working and actually doing stuff back here, or maybe you're not working, maybe you just want to have a good time. So GM definitely does their tailgates the right way. Whether you are going to a job site and you want to work out of this thing, you can do it, or if you want to have a good time and you like to party, I know some of you do, you could definitely have a party with this thing with the upgraded speakers. You of course can hook pretty much whatever you want, minus maybe a washer and dryer in this outlet back here. This thing is built for whatever you want to do with it, and it's pretty dope. Let me talk about what I like first, and then we'll talk about what I don't like, okay? And to be totally fair, I can't take this thing off-road. I can't do that. It's already sold, right? So there's some limitations there, but this is just first impressions and what I see. If I'm a consumer and I want to buy this truck, and I'm comparing this to a TRX, a Tundra Pro, a TRD Pro, a new one, and a Ford Raptor, how does this compare? That's how I'm looking at this, okay? As a consumer standpoint, let me talk about what I like. First of all, the 6.2 is a solid motor. Really solid. It's been solid for a long time. I appreciate that. The whole front end of this truck looks amazing, right? So they gave you the tow hooks front and rear. They gave you the fog lights. They gave you, you know, the whole headlight. Actually, the new headlights look really good. I like the front end. The truck itself looks pretty incredible. The driver cluster, the 13-inch screen for the control center, the 12-inch screen that you're looking at, the heads-up display, all of the many functions, front and rear lockers, absolutely incredible. By the way, the screen is super crystal clear. 8 cameras on this truck. And that's just not 8 cameras just thrown anywhere. You have them for the front and rear tires so you can see what you're actually going over or about to come up to. You have, of course, a bird's eye view 360 camera all the way around. You can see your bed, you can see behind your bed, you can see in front, you can see behind. The cameras on this truck, absolutely incredible. Love that. The whole interior, actually, to me, I personally like it. There's a lot of gray with yellow stitching that breaks it up. The seats are super comfortable, and the whole dash area and what you're sitting in for a $73,000 truck or $70,000 or whatever you're able to get these things at right now, it feels like a premium truck, right? It feels like a high country, but it's kind of more of the sporty high country, but you don't sacrifice comfort in that way. You feel like you're sitting in a $70,000 truck. That's a good thing, right? So the interior is absolutely incredible. How it will hold up over time, I have no idea, but as it sits, really nice. They give you lights on the outside, the tailgate, the multi-flex system, perfect. Wouldn't change a thing about it. The outlet in the back is awesome. Already comes Rhino line, perfect. But here's where this thing falls short for me. It is in, there's really 3 things. The tires, you know, again, Raptor, TRX, 35s, 37s. It should at least have 35s on it. The Goodyear Wrangler, I don't have so much of a problem with the tire itself, but the size of the tire, it should be at least 35s, okay? The next thing, it's got a little bit of a flare over here. But again, TRX Raptor, Tundra Pro, the new Tundra TRD Pros, wide body. This is a super truck, super off-road type of truck market, which is huge. So if you're competing with that market, you gotta do some of the same things that your competitors are doing, and it misses the mark for me. So without the badging and really without the hood, you would think, oh, this is a nice high country, or you know, a nice LTZ or something like that. It has to separate itself. It's not a $50,000 or $60,000 truck. It's something more than that, and it needs to show that, you know, I'm different on the road. To me, when I drive it, I want it to feel, when you drive a TRX or a Raptor, you know it feels different, and it looks different, and it's eye-catching. It's why you buy a truck like that. This doesn't have that. They kind of went halfway in there. They kind of went in halfway with the tires. But there's one other thing that really bugs me about this specific truck, and that's the motor. The 6.2 is great. You know, I said that's one of the things I like because it's a solid motor. For a Silverado, a normal Silverado, a high country, whatever. Not your premium off-road truck. It should be, again, something different. A new motor, a supercharged 6.2. Imagine that. This thing would be an absolute beast. So, you know, I like the truck. And again, I gotta apologize, it's dirty because it's been out in the rain, and you know, I finally found a moment where it's not raining to record this video. So again, I apologize there. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. This glacier blue, or whatever they call it, is stunning, man. But at the same time, it's a stunning truck. It's got a lot of great features. They just missed the mark. It's almost like they went 80% in on this market and they said, yeah, pump the brakes right there. Wide body kit, bigger motor, tires, let's just go with what we know works on the Trail Boss. It's not a Trail Boss. That's where I'm at with it. I would be all in except for those three things. And those are three big things to me. But of course, I want to hear what your opinion is down below. What do you think of the new ZR2, especially compared in the market that it's in the truck field that it's comparing to? What do you think about it? I'd love to know. Even if you own a ZR2, I'd love to know how you are liking the truck so far. Again, if this is your first time stopping by, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit your notifications so you never miss a video from me. See you in the next one. And as always, hold the rubber side down.